Hey Run Junkies, welcome to Runners Without Limits TV. Recently, viewer Scott asked for an explanation of the new RunDisney proof of time standards, and I'm happy to oblige. Thanks for that suggestion, Scott, and if you have a suggestion for a future video, please leave that in the comments section down below. Like and subscribe, because today we have numbers and a pace calculator. Man, I love these videos. For tips on training for and submitting that proof of time, please check out this video I did about 100 years ago. A lot of it is still applicable. This was before they changed the time standards. Also, I do not work for RunDisney. This video is based on registration publications from before March of 2020, mostly gleaned from their website at the time. With no news coming out of RunDisney at the moment, this is the only information we currently have, which means that all of this could change, really, at any time. Like right now. Maybe in about 10 minutes, who knows? RunDisney has a time standard cutoff in order to be placed in the front corrals, and you have to prove that you've recently completed a race within that time standard. If you have a proof of time within that cutoff, then you'll be placed in an early corral accordingly. If not, you will be placed in a later corral based on your guesstimate as to what you might think your finish time may be for that particular race. For the 2020 events, RunDisney updated their time standards, which have two categories. The first category is for the half marathon or the 10K half marathon challenges. You must submit proof that you can complete a half marathon in less than 2 hours and 30 minutes, but you do not have to submit race results from a half marathon. You may submit instead a 10K, a 12K, a 15K, or a 10-mile result. These other distances will be pace adjusted to best determine your corral placement. The second category is for the full marathon, goofy or dopey challenges. You must submit proof that you can complete a marathon in under 5 hours by submitting a 10-mile, half marathon, or full marathon race result. Again, the shorter races will be pace adjusted. So let me show you what I mean by that pace adjustment with one or more of the commonly used pace calculators. That's the Mcmillan Calculator. All right, guys, this is McMillanRunning.com, and this is one of my favorite race calculators to use. I use it for pretty much anything and trying to figure out what my predicted adjusted race paces would be. So we're going to start out with the half marathon race pace adjustments. First, we want to plug in the goal, which is this half marathon at 2:30. That's the goal. What is your current fitness level? So basically, we want to plug in where we are with our best, most recent race. So recently I did a 10K and came in at 106.52. That was a race effort, and I feel really good about that. So I'm going to calculate my paces. So I get this huge chunk of information, so let's just break it down to what we really need. So over here on the left is how that 10K race information shows me race predictions for other distances. I'm not going to worry about that right now. The right side, though, is how pace adjustments for that 2:30 half marathon look for various distances. So if we have that 2:30 half, we can see pace adjusted finish times for the other distances that would be allowed. So now I can go back to this left side here and see how I stack up against those pace adjusted times. So submitting this 10K time at 106.52 will beat that 107 cutoff time. So I can use this for a half marathon or 10K half challenge proof of time. So now let's start over with the marathon proof of time and those pace adjustments. So I plug in a 5-hour time for the half marathon. This is what our goal is, right? Then I go into my 10-mile, this is a recent 10-mile finish time. So that was a 1:53.50. When we hit calculate paces, then we come back over to this huge amount of information, but we only have 3 races from which to choose. So here's my 10-mile race pace over here. That's not important right now. Let's go over to the marathon at 5 hours and an 11:27 average pace, just like the half marathon. So these are the pace adjusted finish times that are allowed that you could submit for a proof of time cutoff. And as you can see, my 10-mile race was way off. I cannot use this for that RunDisney proof of time cutoff. I would have to do much better. But that's how to use the race calculator. I love this thing. You'll notice that as the distance gets longer, the average pace per mile slows down. That's why those pace calculators are so important to keep in mind. You might also notice that proof of time standards between the half and the full marathons are different. That's because the 2:30 cutoff for the half and the 5-hour cutoff for the full have different pace adjustment calculations. All right, you guys, a couple of final thoughts here. So what if you don't have that time standard? What if you can't get that proof of time? Don't panic. You can still have an amazing time without it. It's kind of like a race mullet. I mean, you know, the guys up front, they do have a lot of time, but the party's in the back, you guys. I've done Run Disney races both with and without proof of time, and I can tell you I've had fun regardless of where I start. Look, I know I threw a bunch of numbers at you, but I do hope this breakdown helped you kind of understand how to approach getting your proof of time. These new standards are tough to get for a lot of people, including myself. But what do you think? Did this make any sense at all? What do you think of the new time standards? Please leave thoughts, questions, comments, and suggestions in the comment section down below. Like, subscribe, and tell your friends. Remember, you have no limits. Thanks for watching, and happy running. For the 2020 events, Run Disney update. It's my dog, you dipstick. Hey! Dork. I will get you your snack in a minute.